Hey everyone, welcome back to kind of an episode of the ABL podcast. I don't know, haven't done one of these in a while. So got music going in the background. There's gonna be quick edit, actually no edits. I'm just gonna film this and export it, just get something going for this for these holiday times. So way behind on stuff to talk about. We're gonna focus today on the Teal Mask DLC. So a lot of stuff to talk about here. But let's hop into the team builder and take a look at the new Pokemon in particular. So hang on here, Bip, Bop, that's what we want. So, Ursaluna Blood Moon. Crazy stats here. A lot of HP, like very bulky on the physical side. Not so much on the special side, but it does get Calm Mind. Hyper Voice for normal stab, Earth Power for ground stab. And Blood Moon is a 140 base power special move that you can't use on consecutive turns, like Gigaton Hammer. So its ability, Mind's Eye, means that its accuracy can't get lowered and evasiveness, whatever. Nobody cares about that. But it's also like a built-in Scrappy. Oh wait, no, never mind. Fighting normal kind of ghost. Yep, also like a built-in Scrappy on top of that. This thing was an absolute menace. It also gets stuff like Vacuum Wave, so that way it can have priority on top of that. So Ursaluna Blood Moon was really good. It lasted longer in the metagame than I think most people expected it to. I don't really see any reason it should be allowed in Draft League format. Basically, the only check to it was like Blissey or Chansey, and there's only going to be, two of those floating around. So if somebody went like Ursaluna, Blissey back to back, there's only one check in the entire league to it. So I think Ursaluna Blood Moon should be banned. Great design, kind of a shame, but moving on past that. Got Diplin. Diplin's really interesting because we now know that it evolves into Hydrapple in the Indigo Disc. That means it was able to hold Eviolite, and still can hold Eviolite. This is better than I thought it was going to be. I'd put it on the level in terms of a defensive Pokemon with Appleton, honestly. Like, yeah, it doesn't have the thick fat to reduce the damage from those fire and ice type moves, but this thing's still really bulky. Giga Drain, Dragon Pulse, Recover, Draco Meteor, Dragon Tail. I've also seen it run Draco Meteor. It doesn't get... Oh, it also has Sucker Punch. It doesn't get Leech Seed like Appleton has. So that's actually a little bit of a drawback for it as a defensive Pokemon. But I still do really like this Pokemon. You see Sticky Hold predominantly as the ability with this Pokemon. Just because it can't be tricked, it can't be knocked off, it gets to keep that Eviolite. I don't really think Gluttony should be run with this unless you have a real specific idea, because that means you're also not holding Eviolite. Then also gets Super Sweet Syrup to lower its opponent's evasiveness. I'm not really sure what the idea behind that would be. I mean, I'm guessing it would be... let's see what low accuracy moves we got here. Syrup Bomb is lower accuracy, and it lowers the speed for 3 turns. So that's not helpful. I don't know, maybe like... No, there's no reason. You're just gonna run Sticky Hold. There's no real benefit. If it had like Dragon Rush or something, I'd be kind of interested, but it doesn't. Next we've got Sinistra. So this is the... What are they calling them? Convergent species for Poltegeist. Doesn't get Shell Smash like Poltegeist does. But honestly, I really like this Pokemon. I see it a lot in random battles. Like, defensive stats are decent. It's got a really good typing. We've seen a lot of Pokemon with this Ghost Grass typing. And this also has Heat Proof, so that way it's basically neutral to Fire type moves. I remember back when Burn did 1/8 damage. Heat Proof meant they only took 1/16 damage. I don't know if that's still says half burn damage, so basically no burn damage. It's pretty interesting. This is the set you see with it. Machigacha, new move, 80 power, 90 accuracy, 20% chance to burn, and then also you recover damage. So this is really good on those Calm Mind sets in combination with Strength Sap. The fact that you might get burned coming in, it's already got some Calm Minds up, it's decently defensive. I don't think this is the best Pokemon, but it does the one thing pretty well. I like that about it. It also has some other, like, signature move, I think. I'm thinking of something else. Or no, it's got a hit special ability, Hospitality, but that's only for doubles. Which Zach's never put together the doubles tier list for us, so we can't do it, unfortunately. Next, we got Okidogi. Okidogi, I kind of like. I mean, I've also been a big like Toxicroak apologist and supporter for a long time, so no surprise I like Okidogi. So, Guard Dog, I don't think we're gonna see very often. Immune to Intimidate, gets a +1 when it does get intimidated, it's like a reverse Intimidate, then it traps the Pokemon in with it. I do think this is probably situationally useful in draft if you know your opponent has an Intimidate Pokemon. So maybe this might come up, but Toxic Chain just having an automatic 30% chance of poisoning your opponent is, I think, pretty crazy, all things considered. Just, you know, Drain Punch, Knockoff, have a 30% chance of poison. Poison Jab, I think that, you know, you get one check and then the other one. So I want to say it's like a 51% chance to poison on Poison Jab. And also this is badly poisoned, so this is a way to spread Toxic. Yeah, this Bulk Up set is the most common one as far as I'm aware. But I haven't been playing a lot of OU or even watching OU videos. I'm doing plenty of Ranbats, but this seems to be the set. I pulled a lot of these just off the team builder just to give you an idea of what they're running around with. Don't know what these EVs do. To outspeed something, to live something, and then leftovers. Like leftover stuff, not leftovers. This might be a leftovers number, I'm not sure. But Okidogi seems pretty good. It seems like the bulky version of Toxicroak. It doesn't have the priority. I don't think it gets Swords Dance, as far as I'm aware. Doesn't look like a Pokemon that would get Swords Dance, no. So this seems like, you know, if I don't know, it seems kind of like Toxicroak. I would probably put it on the same level. It's got a lot more defense, though, so that's something to consider. I don't like the color because every time I look at this green, I think it's like Zarude. I think it's dark grass type. Don't like. Monkey Dory. I think this Pokemon's. I mean, look, the speed's good. First of all, 106 speed, really good special attack. Psychic Poison's a pretty good offensive typing for special attacking purposes. Also gets coverage in like Grass Knot, gets U-Turn. I feel like I see this. Like I like this a lot. This feels like a much more splashable Pokemon. Do all of these get Parting Shot? No, just the monkey. That's cool. That's a really cool thing to have on Monkey Dory as well. In all of these, all these also get what's it called? Toxic. And this also gets Nasty Plot. I think this is probably the most versatile. This feels like a gold tier Pokemon to me personally. It's strong right off the bat. So like Specs and Scarf sets are going to do well. On top of the fact that you can set up and pivot. It's obviously not very bulky. I have seen a couple of Assault Vest sets. So maybe there's something there. Because you could run the same set with an Assault Vest and it'd be effective. But just the meta right now is pretty heavily invested in hazard stacking. After that, we got Pheasantipity. Pheasantipity really got the short end of the stick in terms of what these Pokemon got. Like this, I don't know what this stat spread is intended to do other than be moderately bulky. I think it gets, let me see what setup it gets. I don't remember. Okay, it gets Swords Dance, which you could do like a Swords Dance, Play Rough, Poison Jab. Oh, this thing also gets Beat Up with Toxic Chain. If you lead off with it, that comes out to, geez, I'm gonna run a little calculation over here on the side. If I did my math right, I think it's like a 90% chance to Toxic something. I I think I did that right. Our president of numbers can confirm or not. I don't know if Technician really comes into play too much. It doesn't have a lot of moves like... I mean, it's got like dual wing beat, and like I said, beat up. But I don't think it has any fairy moves that are Technician boosted, and I don't even know if it has any poison moves that are... relevant poison moves that are boosted, rather. So, I don't know. Pheasantipity seems like a nice utility Pokemon in terms of pivoting, like Taunt, Roost, Moonblast, U-Turn. That seems like a pretty good set. It's got decent resists, 4x resists fighting, you know, it Dragon Resist, we already said Fighting Resist, what's Poison Resist? Oh, it's neutral to Poison. I don't know. Moderately like this Pokemon. But, you know, reliable recovery is always great on a Pokemon that you're going to be pivoting on. So, that's something. Next, we've got Ogerpon. So, we've got 4 versions of Ogerpon to talk about. This is the most versatile one, obviously, because it can hold an item. So, Defiant has the ability to have any hiddens? No. So yeah, Swords Dance, then Headbutt, Ivy Cudgel knockoff. This is literally all I've seen from this version of Ogerpon. You could run pretty much any item on here. Miracle Seed, Ivy Cudgel's very strong. You could run Power Whip on here if you want a little bit of a boost, but this has a high crit ratio, so I probably wouldn't bother with that. I feel like this is probably the most reliable set. And yeah. What else can you could probably, like, Horn Leech is probably a nice thing to have on there occasionally if you want to run, like, you could run like an Assault Vest or something on this. If you, probably situationally useful. Play Rough is nice coverage. It's Spiky Shield. I don't know if there's, does it get Leech Seed? Doesn't get Leech Seed. But also U-Turn, you could band this easily. Like, that's a nice band set also, along with Defiant. If you're facing somebody that has... If you're facing somebody that's Sticky Webs, put a Choice Scarf on it. That way it's kind of, like, unaffected by the stat drops. You know, it's neutral, and then you do get the +2 attack. I think that'd be good. Definitely has some usability. Like, this I think is going to give somebody a matchup trouble at some point in the season. Now we're getting into the mask versions. So, now, I don't know if I showed you the stats on Ogerpon. Here we go. 120 attack, 110 speed. Like, that's honestly really good. I kind of slow played that. That's very strong, really good speed tier. The only thing holding it back is it's a pure grass type. Like, that's not great, but it's also not bad. We've seen grass types do pretty well in the past. Next we got Ogerpon Cornerstone, grass rock type. So this should be Dakota's favorite Pokemon, Raydilly typing, right? So resists electric, resists normal. That's it. Weak to like 17 other types. That's not true. There's only 18 types in the game. I was gonna say it resists water, but it doesn't. Let's see. Hold on. Let's run through it. So we know what it was resists. What is it weak to? It's weak to... Actually, here. I mean, this will be faster if I pull up stuff over here on the side rather than me running through 18 types. Weak to Bug, Fighting, Ice, Steel. Yeah. Not great, but let's talk about the Cornerstone Mask. So, Cornerstone Mask, all of your attacks get times 1.2 power. That's really awesome. That's better than an Expert Belt because it affects it on all of them. Like, we just saw the Miracle Seed on Ogerpon that gets a 1.2 boost to Ivy Cudgel, or Horn Leech or whatever, but to nothing else. If this ran that same set Ogerpon did, it would just hit 20% harder. That's pretty great. Ability changes to Sturdy. I don't see that coming up a lot, but you know, the other problem is too, it's harder to keep your Sturdy intact because you can't run heavy duty boots. If you Terrastalize with this Pokemon, I think you get a Fizz Death boost. I think that's what this one does. You get the Embody Aspect ability. So you lose Sturdy, you get Embody Aspect. I'm gonna double check what that does just to make sure. Body Aspect, Cornerstone. You're not Okay, on switch and increase the defense by 1 stage. There you go. So that's how that one works. So that's pretty good. Depending on what our terrestrialization rules are, which is a whole other discussion in itself. But and also Ivy Cudgel, I believe, turns rock type when it's in this form. So that's why you're running Power Whip on here. It gets spikes. So like I said, spikes is a pretty nice thing to have. And this is also 100% accurate rock move. This is just as strong as Stone Edge, has that high crit rate like Stone Edge, but it has, first of all, double the PP and can't miss. Ivy Cudgel is very good. This Pokemon by itself, I don't know how good it is, but I don't think it's bad. Like, I think both of these Pokemon are like, I think silver at worst, I think. But that's just my opinion. Let's talk about something that's not silver or worse. We got Ogerpon Fire, or Ogerpon Hearthflame. A lot of the same stuff, but it does get Mold Breaker. The Grass Fire type isn't like great because it has to take Stealth Rock damage switch in. It still gets the same 20% boost that the Cornerstone Mask gives, but this version of Embody Aspect, if you terrestrialize it, gives it an attack boost. So you can Swords Dance. Like, this set is crazy for this. This is also a fire move when it's got the mask on. So this set's crazy for it. It's able to break through stuff so easily. This Pokemon is very scary. It was banned from OU just because, like, also you can't gain immunity to it. Heatran's Flash Fire, it gets hit through because of Mold Breaker. This is hard to deal with. Like, you basically have to have like a super Fizdef Dragon. And even that, like, this thing can break through them, and it also gets that Hearthflame mask boost every time it comes in. So you basically have to like stack hazards against it, have a Fizdef Dragon, and force it out. This Pokemon was banned for a reason, and I really don't expect that to change unless we restrict Terra in some way, which I'm still open to hearing thoughts on, right? So, last we have Ogerpon Wellspring. Gets water absorbed with this. I don't think it's going to come up because you already 4x resist water, but, you know, chance of getting a little bit of recovery. Oh, did I not? I didn't steal a set for this? Hang on. Let me work on that. Sorry, guys. This is so unprofessional. Not that I'm a professional or anything. Nobody has sent me any money to keep doing this. So that's that's that. Okay. I appropriately vamped, right? You guys loved that. Okay, so yeah, so also this mask, when it terrestrializes, gets the Spadef boost. I don't think that's coming up as often, but a little extra bulk is never bad. Swords Dance, Ivy Cudgel, Power Up, Encore. Kind of walled by grass types. There's not a ton of grass types in OU. There's not a ton of like really good defensive grass types floating around. I think this is a lot more checkable in League as well. But like your grass type Pokemon, you're gonna bring like Encore is a really good get to have on here because it can really run interference pretty much because of Encore. It's just like, okay, well, they're gonna come in and this is neutral to grass type moves, so it's not gonna do a ton of damage. It's hard because how many weaknesses? You've got Bug, Flying, Poison, Bug, Flying, Poison, and all those Pokemon. None of those types resist these stabs, so I think that's probably the benefit to it. Yeah, so that covers those. I'm gonna have to rejigger the screen here. So, we're just gonna kind of quickly go through some of the returning Pokemon because some, like, you know, you guys know what these do, but if they have any specific changes this generation, I want to talk about them. So. Not a lot to go over with Arbok. Sandslash, good to see back. Another Sand Rush Sweeper. The other Sandslash, we got a Hail Sweeper. Someone could do that. Clefable's back. I'm sure Clefable is going to be... There's not a lot of good defense right now, so Clefable's good to have around. Victory Bell. Some of these Pokemon you will have seen in the Iron Sheik tournament. Or Iron Sheik Invitational, excuse me. Victory Bell, one such Pokemon. You might even see it paired with Alolan Ninetales here. Another option for Sunsetters with all the photosynthesis mons. I think this mon is likely to get taken, just because there's more photosynthesis mons than you can really afford to draft. So getting Torkoal plus photosynthesis, you know, you can obviously do that. Ninetales might even be at a discount. I don't remember where it was tiered before. I think it might have been silver. So I think we'll probably see Ninetales taken to support some photosynthesis and maybe some chlorophyll mons. Alolan Ninetales, the premier Aurora Veil setter. I'd be shocked if this didn't go. It on its own, not too fantastic, but so good at supporting the rest of the team. Poliwrath, no big changes, I don't think. Drain Punch knockoff. Maybe got Wave Crash or something, but if you're going to be Wave Crashing with the Swift Swimmer, this ain't the one to do it with. Golem, we saw a little bit of him in the Iron Sheik. Alolan Golem, we was there in Iron Sheik as well, didn't do a ton. Weezing, big fan of Weezing. Great physically defensive Pokemon. Only weak to Psychic because of the Levitate. Also gets Neutralizing Gas, which can really run a lot of interference. Along with his brother here. Does the same things, but also has the Fairy type attached to it. I don't remember if these guys got Defog. Let me look real quick. Just the Galarian Weezing got Defog, which another Defogger in the league is great to have around. Snorlax, just doing Snorlax things. No big difference. Furret got Tidy Up. I don't really think that makes a big difference for it because it's a weak Pokemon. But hey, that's fun. I mean, that's hazard clearing, right? Hazard clearing. Noctowl, no big changes as far as I'm aware. Ariados, another low tier Sticky Webber. Politoed, so we have another rain setting option if you don't want to have to pay for Pelipper. Got Macargo. Macargo actually new to the tier list. Apparently, in all the seasons we've done this, Brett discovered we just never had it on the list. But also, in our defense, nobody ever asked about it, right? So apparently nobody needed it. Mightyena, not a great Pokemon, but I think guys knockoff now, so it doesn't have to run Crunch. Ludicolo, same shit, different day. Doing the same thing it's been doing since 2002, right? Getting in rain and just kind of Hydro Pump and Leaf Storm, or Energy Ball probably. We're probably not running Leaf Storm on a rain team, right? Ooh, Shiftry's an interesting one. So, Shiftry got a new ability called Wind Rider, which was the... What's that thing called? The Tumbleweed. Bramblegast. It's Bramblegast's ability. So when it's hit with a wind move, so that is Heat Wave, Hurricane, don't remember if Air Slash is part of that, like Air Cutter probably is, but also Tailwind going up does it too. It gets a attack boost when that happens, and it's immune to those types of moves. So the tech on it has been come in, set up Tailwind, and then explode, giving your team, I think it comes out to like 3 turns of Tailwind, but that might be enough to like really put the hamper your opponent's team. And also an explosion is not really a joke. Explosion hurts. It's a 250 base power move coming off like a max attack. Plus you get into +1 attack. This will do a lot of damage. Illumise and Volbeat, they're doing the same things they've always done. Tailglow's back in the game, so they can Baton Pass Tailglow because we allow Baton Pass. I'm shocked in the 19 seasons plus 3 Iron Sheiks. 4 Iron Sheiks? We've done 4 Iron Sheiks. So the fact that we've played 23, essentially seasons of competitive Draft League Pokemon, and no one has ever abused Baton Pass to the point that we have had to ban it entirely, pretty shocking to me. Not that I'm asking for someone to do that, because I like having the option of Baton Pass sometimes, but it's pretty surprising. It's just, I think it goes to show that when you can prepare for something like that, it's a lot more manageable. Crawdaunt back in action, no big changes there. Melodic is back, and Melodic still retains access to Scald. I don't think it gets toxic. Let me check on this list here. Toxic? Limited distribution. Here we go. Toxic. Nothing for my Lodic. We'll run through this in a little bit here, but that's kind of hurtful for it because it really liked that Chimecho's here. I've seen a lot of cheese with like going Terra Electric Chimecho, and since it has Levitate, it's got no weaknesses. Then you can just like Calm Mind or Cosmic Power and Stored Power, and then it also has Draining Kiss, so that's annoying. I don't think it's great, but it's an option. Jirachi. Off the top of my head, I can't think of any big... it's on this list for Stealth Rock, so that's great for it. It still gets to do all the Jirachi things it used to do, right? So, Jirachi's going to be doing work. Torterra got Shell Smash. I think this jumps Torterra up the tier list, at least to Bronze. I haven't seen a lot of it in lower tiers, so I think there's an argument to be made for Silver. It's got... especially with Terra, being able to like Terra into a rock type and basically get stab on those rock moves, like, because then it would have the Edgequake coverage and it would have grass to be able to hit those Pokemon that would typically resist Edgequake. I'm trying to remember. I know that. So, oh, actually, that might not be true because one of the types that resists Edgequake is grass fighting, and Woodhammer doesn't help with that, but this will also get stuff like Zen Headbutt for that. I think Torterra could be a matchup nightmare for some people. Infernape got... the Stealth Rocks it does, good. But it also got like Aura Sphere, which is really cool for the special sets. Like, I've always been impressed with Infernape as a mixed attacker. Always does really well with that. So, glad to see Infernape back. It's always a mon I've been interested in using. Empoleon, man, ups and downs of Empoleon. Because no longer has Defog, right? Let me double check, correct. So, no longer has Defog. No longer has Scald. Those are two big things. It still has Stealth Rock, and it gained access to Flip Turn and Roost. So its role is changing quite a bit. It's a lot more utility than it used to be defense. Even though it got Roost, it's not as effective defensively now, because like you're gonna run, like you want to run Flip Turn and Stealth Rock and Roost on this thing, and then you're just gonna run Surf. I don't think that has a big benefit, but the big benefit it does have is has access to competitive, much better than Defiant. So I do think that you'll see some special attacking sets with this. I do think it's going to cause some people problems, especially if you can combine it with that old like what it used to be. It was the Agility sub Pecha Berry, not Pecha Berry, Pitaya Berry. If you could like come in on Sticky Web, get the boost, Agility up, and then sub down to Torrent and activate a Pitaya Berry. I don't know. That'd be crazy stuff. If you could do it, cool. You'd be busting through some stuff, but Ambipom. I don't remember if this thing, off the top of my head, I don't think it got anything new or interesting. I don't think it lost anything critical either. You get Knock? That'll be Knock, Ambipom, boom. Looking good. I don't know, Ambipom's gonna do the same stuff Ambipom always used to do. It's decently strong, like fake out double hit, or if you're aggressive, you want to run Tail Slap, sure. Not a bad Pokemon at all. Yanmega. Yanmega, I think, is really gonna benefit from Terastallization. I think that could be really helpful for it. Like, it's a strong Pokemon, and Tinted Lens is not something to be underestimated. Being able to just gain coverage you need, because like Flying Bug is not particularly good coverage. They're walled by a lot of the same things. So Tinted Lens reduces that list even more of things that are going to resist you. And then you're able to just like, oh, hey Corviknight, I know that you resist all my stuff. Or actually you don't resist the Hurricane, or Air Slash doesn't get Hurricane as far as I know. But you can just pull out a Terrifier and cook that thing. That'd be fine. Gliscor. Gliscor's kind of controversial, and it's complicated. Gliscor, I think you should, if it's in, it's platinum, right? An argument is to be made for it being gone because we didn't play with it last generation. when Hidden Power was out of the game. That used to be the A #1 with a bullet way to deal with Gliscor, because you were just never going to catch it with an Ice Beam from like an Ice-type Pokemon. You're going to have to surprise it. It got Spikes, which makes it a lot better, I think, just because it's so easy for it to be in and have extra turns and get up Spikes. It also got Toxic Spikes, too. So that's another thing that's good for it. Let me double check. I'm pretty sure it also still has Toxic. Yeah, right there, Toxic. So that makes it good. Lost Roost. That's big, but it's not as big as I think people thought it was going to be, because it still has that Toxic Heal recovery. You turn into it, like you bring it in, and it's going to get that 1/12 of its HP back. Throw Protect, you get another 1/12 of your HP back. And so defensive, it's going to find plenty of opportunities to be able to get that recovery, get those hazards up. And then there's also an offensive set you can just run. You can't burn this thing unless you do it before the Toxic Orb goes off. It's tough to deal with. Gliscor, I think there was discussion last generation that, hey, when Gliscor comes back, we're going to have to ban it. I think the discussion needs to happen, but I don't know if I'm super on board with it. We'll see. Mamoswine. Mamoswine's just as good as it ever was. I don't really think Terra plays a huge role in how it will function. It might be more easy to deal with defensively because of terrestrialization, but kind of remains to be seen. Oh, it gets Trailblaze, which I do think is interesting because water types will come in on it. You can get some pretty good damage, then you get the speed boost. That could be scary. Probopass is Probopass, no real change. Dusknoir has access to Poltergeist, but that also was true last generation, so nothing really big there. Manaphy and Fion get the move Take Heart, which is Refresh plus Calm Mind in one. Interestingly, that is the set that makes Manaphy such a trouble to deal with, which is surprising, because you'd think like, Tail Glow Manaphy. But now that you also have Take Heart, that's just as difficult to deal with sometimes. I feel like I used to see Manaphy's run Calm Mind. The fact that now it doesn't have to, it used to run like, basically Rain Dance, Calm Mind, Scald, Energy Ball, or Dazzling Gleam, or Ice Beam, something like that. But now it doesn't need to run Rain Dance, because the only reason it ran Rain Dance was that way it could activate Hydration. And, well, I guess it wouldn't, yeah, that's what it would do. So that's not really a thing anymore. Now it's just going to be able to, Take Heart is going to be your all-in-one thing. You can also run like Rest, Sleep Talk, Take Heart, and Scald if your opponent doesn't have like a water immunity. You can absolutely break past stuff with that. And Fion can do all those same things without the Tail Glow aspect to it. Its stats are a little bit worse. Fion could be kind of a sneaky, annoying pick in low tiers. Shaman. Absolutely love Shaman. I think it's really hurt by the fact that it lost, no Hidden Power. I think really does hurt it. That's the only thing that like stands out to me that it lost. Still pretty good. I don't remember if we had it Silver or Gold before, but I don't expect it to move too far off of where it was. Big fan of Conkeldurr. Terra also helps it, just because being able to become a normal type, lose any weaknesses that you had to fighting, and then power off like, stab boosted, guts boosted facades. This mon's also very scary, so looking forward to someone breaking some face with that. I like Levani. Pretty fast. I think it gets screens. Let me double check, because like I thought Electrode got dual screens, and it doesn't anymore. So let's check on Levani. So it gets Pounce, new move, knock off Sticky Web, Leaf Blade, Light Screen, and Reflect. So and 92 base speed isn't bad at all. 103 also isn't bad attack. Swarm, Chlorophyll, Overcoat, like 3. Swarm's not really that useful. I want Swarm to be more useful. But it simply isn't, and that's a shame. But really good low tier lead, like just go ahead and pick up Sticky Webs or a screener and like late in the game, pretty good. Swanna, you get defog, right? You have to do something. Yeah, Swanna gets defog. This is like your desperate low tier pick to get a defog pickup. Can I just click? Oh, it's just an image of it if I click on that, but that's fun. I was hoping it would take me to the, jeez. Oh no. Hold on, guys, let me find it. I was hoping it would take me to, there we go. Smoke on page for it. Chandelure's back. No big change with the Chandelure in terms of moveset. Mienshao doing the same thing it always used to do. I don't think any significant changes to its moveset. Mandibuzz, same stuff. Trevenant, same stuff? Yeah, same stuff. Vikavolt, same. Rabombi, same. I think that the Scale Shot is probably beneficial to Komodo. Like, Swords Dance Scale Shot is good. We've seen that. It was enough to get Baxcalibur banned from OU. And Baxcalibur is something we're going to need to talk about for us too. Cramorant, doing Cramorant things. I like Morpeko, but it's just a low tier mon. I don't think it's going to do well in the high tiers. I don't really think there's much more we need to talk about here. Oh, Furret and Melodic also. I think Melodic already had Coil, but Furret's got Coil. Like, Coil Scale Shot on Arbok is something I saw on low tier, something to keep an eye out for. Let's see, nothing else here stands out to me as needing to be talked about. A lot of stuff got knockoff back. That's pretty big. Like Crook got knockoff back. Yeah, a lot of the stuff having access to knockoff is nice. And then all this stuff got access to Toxic. Like, Toxic on Bellybolt is cool. Toxic on Goodra helps it out. Toxic on Mandibuzz and Umbreon, I think both of those are super important to those Pokemon. So I like that for them. I think that's pretty much all we need to talk about. All this stuff seems to be stuff that that we already touched on. But yeah, thank you for listening to this coverage of the, what was this one? This is the Teal Mask. I'm going to be working on the Indigo Disc video soon, so watch out for that. Thank you.